Welcome back, everybody, to my channel here at Essentials to a Journey. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that I believe is very important, and I think it's important when it comes to the relationship that we have with food. We really need to address this to improve or not even necessarily improve, but to just stay on top of the relationship that we're having with food. So the topic that I'm going to be talking about when it comes to connecting to the foods that you have and the foods that you're eating, this can be translated with other things as well. So you can take this and you can also connect this to the relationship that you may be having with other people. I think this goes across the board with any and all things. What we're going to be talking about here, like setting the standard for the relationship that we have with our food, we can apply that to every other thing in our lives when it comes to media, social media, our appliances, or like not appliances, but our media devices such as our phone, our television, the things that we're connecting with, that is technology, our iPads, whatever we're doing to tune in on a day-to-day basis. We can look at all of our relationships across the board, and we can treat every relationship that we have with one single thing. We can connect that to all things, and I like to say that what can't be measured can't necessarily be scaled. So if you're looking to have a better relationship with something in particular, you need to understand the relationship that you already have with that particular thing. So I'd specifically like to talk about food, because this is something that I still work on every day, and I know a lot of other people out there may be also struggling with the same thing, and maybe this is going to be the thing that helps you to understand or give you a bit of advice or something that you can take back with you and apply to the relationship that you have with food. So that's the journey we're on today. We're talking about our relationship with food when it comes to self-care. So back in the day, when I did not necessarily understand myself physically, my body, and how it worked with food, I was having all kinds of issues. I was struggling with IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I also had issues with PMS. So like PMSing as a woman, I had severe pains. It was just a lot of aching. I didn't understand where everything was coming from, and I did know that I did not want to go through having to go to a doctor, being diagnosed with this thing, and then walking away with medications to, basically glaze over the problem and not necessarily fix the root cause. So I just knew I didn't want to go into a doctor's office, be diagnosed with something, and then come out with the prescription. Like, that didn't fix anything. It doesn't fix anything. So because I knew this, I had it in my mind, okay, if you really want to cure this, if you really want to understand yourself, you're going to have to do the homework yourself, figure out what it is going on with you, and we're going to have to take a deep dive at this, at your food, at your relationship to food, in order to walk away with something where you feel like you didn't just put a patch over it, you were able to sit down and understand yourself and get to the root cause of it. So I took it upon myself to do this, to do my homework, and I just took note of everything. And I had also already did not do very well with meats, and this is no shade to anybody that does eat meat. I think you should do what best fits you in your diet. I am not saying that it is bad. I'm just saying it just didn't work for me. And I also just, as a child, it didn't resonate with me eating it. I would always cover it up with other foods. So if I had potatoes on my plate, I'd eat that. If I had more veggies and I love the specific veggies, I just eat that. And then it dawned on me, okay, I really do like vegetables. I do love whole foods. So, it gave me the idea. And I was also, I will say at the time, also just experimenting with being vegan, being more plant-based. And I just realized it worked for me. I had better energy. I was able to move through my day a bit more, feeling energetic, feeling like I could take on my day, and I wasn't being weighed down by the foods I was eating. So I just decided, okay, well, this works for me. Let me just see how this goes. And then from there, I just went in for, let me try this for 30 days. And then 30 days turned into a complete lifestyle. And so it just helped me to understand something about myself, to listen to my body, that this is what worked for me, this is what feels good to me. And not only did I come out with something that felt and resonated with me, that felt good for me and resonated, but I also learned a lot about my body, that because I did this and because I took the action, because I was able to listen to myself and do what was necessary for myself, it cleared up so much. The IBS went away, the heavy intense PMS pains went away. And I will also say it actually cleared up my vision. So I had poor eyesight and it was decreasing over time, and it actually reversed my eyesight. And to this day, I keep a record of the old eyesight, like my old vision, left and right eye, they were both completely different. Now my eyesight has improved, but both eyes are set at a particular number. When you go to the eye doctor, they give you like this number for your eye, and it shows you, it's like a scale of either your eyesight is decreasing or it's improving, or I guess you have 20/20 vision, which is basically like perfect vision. But I'm not at perfect vision, but it definitely increased, like my vision improved. I will say that the number improved. And so that was like a bonus. And not only that, but I feel like I've always had really great skin, but I was like glowing, and I feel like my skin is glowing. And it also just, the puffiness, the inflammation, everything it just did a 360, like everything was turned around, and I just feel so much better. And I feel like I look a lot healthier and better. I feel like I've been healthy, but right now is the time that I feel like I'm the healthiest I have ever been. And it just, for me, it feels like it improves over time. So I just wanted to point that out. So that is my story on, why I became vegan. I am not advocating for veganism. I am advocating for taking better care of your health, your well-being, seeing to it that you have a relationship with food that you feel proud of, and that you don't feel like you're going down a rabbit hole of what mainstream media is telling you should and should not be doing. Because food is not meant to be, it's not a collective thing where one thing works for everybody. There's so many factors involved when it comes to food, when it comes to your relationship with food, when it comes to like your heritage, and there's just so much. So I'm not advocating for one thing about, a certain type of or way of approaching food and how you should eat it and what you should eat. And I strongly say I am advocating for people that are following a food or are having a food relationship where it is in resonance with you and your body and your individualism. So that is my spiel on that. And I just want to say, because of that, and because I was able to measure and track and do all of this, it made me decide, well, I don't want to say it made me, but I decided to come up with something that, because this worked so well for me, I decided to come up with something that I feel would help a lot of other people, especially after becoming, changing my diet and changing the way I approached my relationship to food. I was able to, I had the opportunity to become a health and wellness coach, and I studied at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I am not promoting them, but I got a chance to study and learn as a health coach. And what I walked away from was a lot of powerful information to help me move forward, but also to continue to coach other people. If you are interested in coaching, if you check out my website, which is, I'll put in this link, you can go over to the page. And if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, I do that. But what I do is I do have individualized plans, and I do have products, and that is what this is all leading me to. I created a Reset Your Relationship with Food ebook that you can basically download, and you can basically go through and look at, your relationship with food and basically the standards to set. And these standards that I've put in this ebook are standards that I follow myself, standards that I learned how to go about creating a better relationship with food and figuring out what works best for me. And I also, during my process of understanding myself and the foods that worked well for my digestion and my well-being, I was able to track everything. So I tracked the meals that I was having. I tracked whether a specific food felt more like an allergy to me. And I just studied myself. I approached myself as if I am the scientist looking inward, so I just was able to develop my food relationship with myself by looking at myself as the scientist. So what I'm getting at here is I was able to track everything. And so what I did is I also created a personal tracker that I use. And I use it to continue to track foods, to track anything that I am putting in my body, whether it's a drink, whether it's a vitamin, or if it is just a meal that I've prepared for myself. Even meals from if I go out to eat, I still find ways to track my food. So I have this meal tracker. It's called Eat, Track, Thrive, and it's your food sensitivity and allergy guide. And this is to also help you understand what you are putting in your body as far as measuring. So you have the Reset Your Relationship with Food ebook that you can easily download, and there's also the tracker that goes with it. However, if you're not interested in the tracker, you can just get the Reset Your Relationship with Food. I have that as a standalone product or something that you might be interested in. However, if you don't want the Reset Your Relationship with Food and you just want to understand what you're putting in your body and how much of what you're putting in your body, you're just looking to measure things, the tracker is available to you. So what I'll do is I'll link these trackers, the tracker and the Reset, the entire bundle, as well as the standalone products that I have that I've created for myself. And again, this was all done out of love. This was done out of understanding. This was done in the spirit of, again, being the scientist, looking inward, figuring out what worked, what didn't work, and how I'm going about things. So this is all created in the spirit of greater understanding of myself. And I just want that for you if you are somebody that is also struggling to figure out what's going on with your body, why you're having food sensitivities, and just how to improve your relationship to what you're eating. That is all I've really wanted to say today, because I think it still matters most. And I continue myself to personally just look at every day as, what am I still putting in my body? Is this working? And I think over time, you will continue how to be able to approach your situation as a scientist. Like, as you age and as time goes by, what one thing that worked may not necessarily work a month, 2 years, 3 years from now. So you're going to constantly have to evolve. Your food relationship is going to have to evolve. And that's the beauty of, being alive and expanding and growing and being a container for more and releasing and letting go. So, I hope this will help. I hope that my information has helped you. I hope everything that I've shared so far helps. If this has helped you, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already to this channel. And if you know someone who is also struggling to improve their relationship with food, or just maybe they've been backtracking on wanting to lose weight or wanting to let go of something when it comes to dietary needs, and they haven't been able to figure out a better system, well, share this with them, and maybe this is going to help the next person. That's all I'm on here to do, really, is to just help and make my life better, but also in the process help others to make their lives better, even if that means just touching upon subjects like food. So again, I hope this information has been helpful to you. If you are interested in any of the products that I have that have helped me, that I use, the links will be down below. And if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe. Pass this message on. And until next time, I wish you lots of peace, light, and so much love.